between Iran and the United States is growing sharper as the war between the two nations deepens, even as military operations intensify across the Middle East. Leaders on both sides are presenting dramatically different narratives about the progress of the conflict and the possibility of an eventual ceasefire. The confrontation, widely known as Operation Epic Fury, has rapidly transformed into one of the most consequential regional conflicts in recent years. The military campaign, launched in late February, has already seen thousands of strikes, rising casualties, and mounting global concern over the stability of the Gulf and the security of the world's energy supply. At the center of the current war of words is a sharp exchange between Iranian military leaders and U.S. President Donald Trump. Iranian commanders insist that Washington is under pressure and seeking a way out, while the White House claims the campaign is achieving its goals faster than expected. Senior figures within Iran's powerful Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps have openly mocked Washington's statements about progress in the war. IRGC Deputy Commander Ali Fadavi delivered a scathing response to suggestions that the conflict may soon end. According to the Iranian commander, calls for mediation and diplomatic engagement show that the United States is feeling the strain of the confrontation. Fadavi argued that if American forces were truly winning on the battlefield, there would be no need to seek outside intermediaries to help bring the fighting to a halt. The Iranian official also issued a warning that the conflict may soon take a new and unexpected turn. Tehran, he suggested, is preparing further responses that could surprise Washington and its allies in the days ahead. While the Iranian military leadership frames the war as a resistance against foreign aggression, officials in Washington are portraying a very different picture. President Donald Trump has repeatedly insisted that the U.S. military campaign is moving faster than expected. In a brief interview with Axios, the president suggested that the conflict could end soon because American forces have already devastated much of Iran's military infrastructure. Trump argued that there are increasingly few meaningful targets left inside the country. The president also claimed that the operation has significantly exceeded the objectives that were originally set for the first 6 weeks of combat. According to Trump, the campaign represents long overdue retaliation for decades of instability across the Middle East. He framed the strikes as payback for years of what he described as Iranian-backed violence across the region. Despite the president's confident tone, officials in Washington and Israel say there has been no formal directive to halt the fighting. Israeli leaders have made it clear that the military campaign will continue for as long as necessary to achieve its objectives. Israel's defense leadership has stated that there is no fixed timeline for the end of the operation. Officials from both the United States and Israel say military planners are preparing additional waves of strikes against Iranian targets. According to defense sources, at least 2 more major strike operations are currently under consideration. These preparations come as tensions escalate in one of the world's most strategically sensitive waterways. Much of the world's attention is now focused on the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow maritime passage linking the Persian Gulf to the global oil market. The waterway is one of the most important shipping routes for energy supplies, carrying a significant share of the world's crude oil exports. Recent intelligence assessments indicate that Iran may have begun laying naval mines in the area. Such a move could disrupt global energy markets and threaten commercial shipping. The United States has already taken action to prevent such a scenario. President Trump confirmed that American forces conducted strikes targeting Iranian mine-laying vessels. Several boats believed to be involved in mining operations were reportedly destroyed in the attacks. The warning from Washington was direct. Any attempt by Iran to block shipping through the strait would trigger an overwhelming response. As the war continues, the top American military commander overseeing operations in the region offered a detailed assessment of the campaign. Speaking from U.S. Central Command headquarters, Admiral Brad Cooper described the military effort as both intense and effective. He said, "I'm Admiral Brad Cooper here at United States Central Command, where I'm leading the forces executing Operation Epic Fury." Cooper also paid tribute to the thousands of troops deployed across the Middle East. He said, "First, I want you to know that we continue to keep the families of our fallen heroes and our wounded teammates in our thoughts and prayers." The commander noted that roughly 50,000 American personnel are currently stationed in the region supporting the campaign. He said, "I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the families of the 50,000 American servicemen and women deployed in and around the Middle East." According to Admiral Cooper, American forces are carrying out a relentless series of strikes against Iranian military targets. He described the operation as a sustained effort to dismantle Iran's ability to threaten supporting U.S. forces and regional allies. He said, in short, U.S. forces continue delivering devastating combat power against the Iranian regime. The admiral explained that American strategy is centered on degrading Iran's military capabilities while preventing further attacks against U.S. interests. He said U.S. combat power is building. Iranian combat power is declining. The campaign has already involved a massive number of precision strikes. Cooper revealed that thousands of targets across Iran have been hit. These include missile launch sites, drone facilities, naval vessels, and command centers. He said, to date, we have struck more than 5,500 targets inside Iran. The strikes have also focused heavily on Iran's naval capabilities. More than 60 Iranian ships have reportedly been destroyed or disabled. The admiral described the strikes as unpredictable and constantly evolving. He said, I'd characterize our strikes as being unpredictable, dynamic, and decisive. One of the most notable developments in the conflict, according to U.S. officials, is a significant reduction in Iranian missile and drone activity. Since the first day of the campaign, Iranian attacks have reportedly declined sharply. Still, Cooper warned that Iran continues to launch attacks from densely populated urban areas, a tactic, he said, puts civilians at risk. He said Iranian forces continue to deliberately target innocent civilians in Gulf countries while hiding behind their own people. The admiral emphasized that American forces are not only responding to immediate threats, but are also working to eliminate future dangers. He said it's not just about what's shooting at us today, it's also about eliminating the threat in the future. Recent strikes have targeted Iran's defense industrial base, including missile production facilities. In one example cited by Cooper, U.S. bombers destroyed a large ballistic missile manufacturing plant during a nighttime operation. Even as the United States claims progress on the battlefield, reports indicate that the war is placing enormous strain on military resources. According to estimates cited by U.S. officials, the United States spent roughly $5.6 billion worth of weapons within the first 48 hours of operations. The scale of the campaign has required the deployment of some of the most advanced weapon systems in the American arsenal. Long-range bombers such as the B-2 Spirit, B-1B Lancer, and B-52 Stratofortress have taken part in strike missions. Stealth fighters, including the F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor, have also been involved. Air defense systems such as the Patriot missile system have been used to intercept incoming threats, yet reports suggest that the pace of combat operations may be stretching existing stockpiles of interceptors and other advanced weapons. Some military planners have reportedly begun shifting toward more widely available precision-guided bombs as the campaign expands. The war has also revealed vulnerabilities in air defense networks across the region. Iranian missile and drone attacks targeting Israeli territory and U.S. bases have tested the limits of defensive systems. Military sources say the high volume of incoming threats has forced commanders to move additional interceptors from global stockpiles into the Middle East. The situation has sparked concerns about whether air defenses can keep pace with sustained missile barrages. The conflict is now sending shockwaves through global energy markets and international diplomacy. Attacks on shipping and fears of disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz have caused sharp volatility in oil prices. Some countries have begun releasing strategic petroleum reserves to stabilize the market. At the same time, the humanitarian toll of the war continues to rise. Reports indicate that thousands of civilians have been killed or displaced as the fighting spreads across multiple fronts in the region. As tensions rise around the Strait of Hormuz, President Donald Trump has issued one of his strongest warnings yet. In a message posted online, the president cautioned Iran against attempting to block the vital shipping route. He warned that such an action would trigger an overwhelming American response. The statement signaled that Washington views the protection of global trade routes as a critical red line. Despite confident statements from Washington and defiant rhetoric from Tehran, the trajectory of the war remains uncertain. Both sides claim to have the upper hand. Both sides promise further escalation if their opponents cross certain lines. Military planners continue preparing new strike operations. Iran, meanwhile, has vowed to respond to what it calls aggression against its sovereignty. The result is a conflict that appears increasingly difficult to contain. With tensions spreading across the Gulf, analysts warn that the war could easily expand beyond its current boundaries. For now, the Middle East remains on edge. The battlefield narrative may differ depending on who is speaking, but one reality is clear. The confrontation between Iran and the United States is far from over. And as both sides prepare their next moves, the possibility of a wider regional war remains a growing concern for the world.